Oh yeah, you need this.
I'm gonna go shut the doors.
There we go. Because I stream the screen sense.
Okay, got it.
Just asked if you wanted the door shut and the lights.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good evening, everybody. That presentation, that video was brought to us by Stone Marshall Media and underwritten by Fresh Trippin'. So remember to silence your phones. I'm Jennifer Zunko. I'm the Executive Director of TCNewTech, and I'm really happy to see everybody here. We're so excited to be back in person, and we also welcome those that are watching online. At TCNewTech, we exist to build a culture of innovation, economic growth, and opportunity in the Grand Traverse region. We appreciate your memberships and the generosity of our sponsors. That's what makes this all possible. So thank you all. Here is our schedule right there. Our schedule for tonight, we have five-minute pitches. They're each followed by 5 minutes of Q&A. And we have a timekeeper in the front, Alexa Zunko. And she's going to keep everybody on our tight schedule. There will be some announcements from 2 of our partners and updates from 2 local nonprofits that we think is going to be of interest to you. But after the presentation, you have 4 minutes to cast your votes, and we'll give you a phone number to text in the code. So be watching for the codes at the end of all of the presentations. Let's see. Also, during the voting, we'll have a update from one of our local nonprofits. And later on in the program, we'll have a chance for you to come up to the mic and make any announcements, 30-second little announcements that you want to make. So I've got a very exciting announcement here. Here it comes.
We've met a lot of great people up here since we moved here. We had an open house when we first moved up here, and we didn't know who was going to show up. But a lot of people from Interlochen showed up, a lot of people from the community who were musicians showed up. And I mean, we even met people at the library. I think Dana just started talking to someone at the library and they became great friends. My name is Mark LaQuesta, and I am the director of the Music Production and Engineering program at Interlochen Center for the Arts.
What do you do there?
I teach kids how to make records.
My name is Dana LaQuesta, and I am an interior designer.
And I'm a panda.
What's your name, sweetie?
Can you say, my name is Sunday?
My name is Sunday.
How old are you, Sunday?
3.
3 years old?
So I was a full-service interior designer in Nashville, and when we moved to Traverse City, I decided to keep practicing. I provide full-service residential and commercial interior design with a focus on kind of eclectic, globally inspired, lots of antiques, fun stuff.
Turn this off for a second because Interlochen Center for the Arts is a campus where all art disciplines are taught. It started in 1928 as a camp. It was National Music Camp, and it's continued for a really long time. And Interlochen has developed this reputation for making a lot of great artists.
Of course, the winters took me by surprise because I'm from Tennessee, but I'm amazed at how much you can do in the winter. Snowshoe, cross-country skiing, which I did for the first time just this past winter, and it was amazing and hard. Skiing, just being outdoors in the winter is something that's very new to me and super interesting about the area.
Yeah, we should also say that we moved here and it was seven months we were here and then COVID hit. So it actually wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, because if we were in Nashville, we wouldn't have been able to go anywhere because everyone's right on top of each other. But thank you. However, when we came here, when COVID hit, we could go on hikes and we could explore.
We discovered
areas.
so much unexpected natural beauty.
So that's actually a video put together by Michigan's Creative Coast, which is an initiative of Traverse Connect. And it's designed to introduce people to this area because we're all about economic growth. And this is what helps to bring startups here, is get them excited about what we have to offer. Are there anybody here that's moved here during the pandemic in the last couple of years? Yeah. We're happy to have you. We're so glad you're here. So the thing I really wanted to talk about, what the big news is Northern Michigan Startup Week. So we are hosting this event, co-hosting this with 5 different organizations here in town. And we have a whole week of events for people that are interested in investing in small startups, who are interested in entrepreneurship. The week of events happen May 9th through the 15th. They celebrate entrepreneurism, innovation, and our growing startup community. And if you like our monthly pitch nights, there'll be 3 pitch nights during the week. One is just for university students. One is for local high school and college students. And the big one will be a part of the TechStars Startup Weekend. We also have a family-friendly space night featuring space tech experts and an investors luncheon and a big community celebration at 20 Fathoms. So this is a collaborative initiative organized by TCNewTech, 20 Fathoms, Newton's Road, and Northern Michigan Angels. And we are also very grateful for the support of Haggerty and Boomerang Catapult and Northwest Michigan College. We know that the startup ecosystem that we're building here and that you're all a part of has grown substantially in the last 5 years or so, and we think that is worth celebrating. So we hope you'll join us at some or all of these events. So hit the QR code and check out the website. Several of the events, the registration just opened today. So we're happy to deliver that news today. So get signed up. And also we have Carrie Emlott in the back, and Keith Kelly also is here that can answer questions for you. So next, I want to introduce you to Lisa Baker-Lawrence from Access Point. And Lisa can take care of your employees while you take care of your business. And she's taking care of our emceeing for many years now. And she does a much better job than I do. So I'm turning it over to Lisa.
Thank you, Jen. Hello, everybody, and thank you for your patience this evening as we, oh, hold on.
as I learn how to use technology. There we go. Okay, awesome. We're going to get rolling. Thank you for everyone who has already joined as a member. This is a free event. However, we rely on your support. So if you click that QR code and or sign up at the membership table if you're here live tonight, you can become part of it, get all of the updates, vote on board stuff, just really be in the know of what's going on. It's a good idea to start to get engaged. We would not be able to do this, like I mentioned, without support. Some of those things come in the way of sponsorship. So you could definitely let us know if you want to write a big fat check tonight. We'd be happy to take that off your hands. Bar Hopper beat you to the pitch tonight with the main sponsor, Bar Hopper and Jim Harvey's company. They are going to let you know where are you going next. So you should probably go to their app store and find them and find out where you want to go have your next cocktail or etc. Our pitch prize is brand new with us. They are not brand new to the area, however. They're a collaborate group of folks providing wellness and called Jovia Wellness Center over on 16th Street. And they serve your health, wellness, and beauty needs. I happened to get my hair done there by Wendy, so there you go. And without further ado, a quick announcement from Kate Redmond and her team, Chris, with Common Grounds Cooperative. Welcome to the stage. Do you need this one?
Hello, everybody. Great to see you. I only have 3 minutes, so I'm doing the talk fast, quick version, but we do have a table outside, so feel free to follow up if you have more questions. I'm here with Common Grounds Cooperative. For those of you who aren't familiar, we're a community-owned real estate cooperative. Anyone in the community can become an owner for $50. And our goal is to develop real estate that meets community needs. We currently have a project under construction at 414 East 8th Street next to West Shore Bank, across from that pink building that's the box. It's targeted to be finished this fall, so we're getting closer. It's a 4-story building that co-locates workforce housing with early childhood education and other organizations working on food, family, arts, and wellness. It's a $16 million project, and we leveraged investment that we raised through investment crowdfunding from our community owners to support the rest of the project. I'm here today just to give you the quick summary and update. So I get the question a lot, what do you guys actually do at Common Grounds Cooperative? People are a little confused. Well, we develop real estate. And as I said, we're trying to target community needs. So it's not difficult to figure out how to build and finance a bank or a law office. It's still pretty difficult, actually. I won't give credit to all real estate developers. But we're specifically saying, how do we do things like build workforce housing and early childhood education that we know we need in our community? So to do that, we incubate partnerships, find stakeholders in the community that are affected by that community need and bring them together to help finance, build business plans, figure out how to make it work. And we connect community investors to impact. So create a way for everyone who lives here to say, hey, I can invest my money to not just earn a financial return, but also have a positive impact on my community and help do things like build workforce housing, support early childhood education. So what can you do if you're interested in supporting us? You can become a community owner, commongrounds.coop, $50. You can invest in our project. If you invest directly in us, it just supports the project overall, as well as developing workforce housing. Or you could consider investing or donating to support some of our tenants. So we have our food hall, we have our early childhood education space, we have an awesome performing arts space, all of whom are still working on financing and fundraising to support their spaces. And we would love to tell you how to support us or our tenants if you're interested. And why would you want to invest in us? It is just a way to take action and have an immediate impact on the community. I know it can feel frustrating to be like, workforce housing is such a big problem. How do I even have an effect on that? You can invest in Common Grounds Cooperative and we'll help make that happen. And we also are trying to build a community that we want to live in today, but also our grandkids want to live in. So how do we build a creative, connected community that has the kind of spaces that people moving here from the coast say, hey, that's a pretty cool space. I'd like to have that kind of art space, that kind of food hall in my community. And if this isn't the investment where you're going to make the most money you could ever make in the world, if we did that, we couldn't afford to also have early childhood education, right? Our tenants need affordable investments, but we also want to pay a reasonable return to the community to give people the opportunity to build wealth by investing in something they support. So it is the opportunity to support your community while also making a reasonable, patient investment. That's it for now. Visit our website. If you have questions, feel free to email us. I'm here with Chris Treater, the founder of Higher Grounds and a co-founder of Common Grounds, and you can find us out there if you have any questions. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Kate. So we have 5 pitches tonight, and number 1 is Salvatore and David with Engineering for Life. You driving? Okay, you're welcome.
Hello, my name is Salvatore Velarde. This is David Brinkmeyer, and we're here from Engineering for Life. So what we are is we are a West Michigan biomedical company. We're working through building some software that allows surgeons to have more accessibility to DICOM data as far as utilizing it to enhance the surgical planning and be able to provide patients with a better outcome. So some of the softwares and tools that we tend to use, so Slicer is a software that's used to segment DICOM data. Then we utilize SolidWorks in the CAD engineering aspect of the data that we've segmented. Formlabs and Sintert are 2 different types of 3D printing companies that we use. We have those machines in-house. The egg-looking OS, that's a Casual OS, which is a open source platform that we use to be able to supply the images to the surgeon. So, DICOM data can be taken from CT, MRI, ultrasound, X-ray data. Those are the different modalities that we're able to import into the software. Some of the things that we're able to do then, once we have that data, again, we can help the surgeon with surgical planning. And what that would entail is the surgeon can look at lots of 2D scans, which, the DICOM data is a bunch of 2D sections of different anatomy. And they've done that for decades, and that works well for most procedures where it's not complicated. DICOM data and importing it to create a segmented file can be beneficial when you've got more of a complex surgery or complex issue, because now the surgeon's able to get a 3-dimensional look at the anatomy as opposed to looking at a bunch of 2D scans. So again, just some examples. So we've got our Slicer software, which imports the DICOM data. Then we can generate a 3D CAD model from that. So the beauty is there's a lot of different applications for the technology as far as being able to segment DICOM data. Anything that requires anatomy, whether it's a orthopedic replacement, a oncology from a cancer standpoint of being able to actually have the doctor ahead of time being able to kind of plan out the surgery, plan out the operation before they cut the patient open. They can get a head start to look at what they're up against. And the other benefit is the fact that we can take that data and then 3D print it and provide that to the surgeon or even the patient. We've done work before with Helen DeVos Children's Hospital in Grand Rapids at Spectrum Health. And one thing that was really important for some of their patients is we had a couple patients that had extreme heart conditions. One particular individual had a very enlarged heart. And so for the first time, we were able to give him a 3D printed heart of his own heart. And it was cool because he got to look at that and say, hey, it's emotional connection of I'm going to beat this because I can see it and they can relate to it. So there's a lot of benefits that can be used with the technology. So again, this just talks about the different types of 3D printing that we have accessible to ourselves, which SLA, SLS, PolyJet, CNC machining. And then the other benefit too that we can do as well is there's some analytical capabilities that we can do. Once we have that 3D CAD data, when we put our engineering hat on, then we can go back and actually, start to look at some analytical features to when we're working on building an implant for a patient, we can look at ways to improve the structural aspect of it. So one thing that we wanted to do was, because this can be taken in so many different areas, we wanted to focus on an area to start with. And so what we've started with, and David will elaborate on this, is more of the spinal fusion area. So in spinal fusion right now, when the surgeon goes and does their surgery, they've got a lot of parts to look at. And like I said, I'll let David kind of elaborate on that.
Thank you, guys. So real quick, spinal fusion is the process in which a degenerated intervertebral disc is replaced with the plastic spinal cage, as you can see with the orange arrow up there. To hold these vertebrae in place, we have the blue pedicle screw, and this is the project that we are trying to attack right now. So pedicle screws, as Sam kind of mentioned, are chosen during surgery. There's no real definite predetermination of a pedicle screw, and this causes a lot of risk to the patient and increased surgery times. Not only that, but it also causes
I got a note from the boss. A little closer to the mic.
it also causes a lot of added costs to the hospitals, because once a surgical kit is open in the OR, they can no longer use that hardware. So our problem statement here is we are trying to attack that problem. We want to decrease the cost of the hospitals. We want to decrease the risk to the patients and overall make their procedure more comfortable. As Sam kind of mentioned, FEA, finite element analysis, is one method in which this has tried to be attacked in the past. We are trying to look at more of an analytical approach and look at, per patient, the vertebrae size, shape, and choose the best screw for their fit. Quick overview, this is our process. We want to bring in their DICOM data, pull it into a CAD software, take some measurements, and generate a link that they can actually look at their own spine with the hardware that they're about to receive. And in the future, when we take on active cases, we will be able to take their DICOM data, send a link out to their surgeon, send a link out to the patient, and make sure everybody is okay with the procedure that they are about to have.
Okay, so I interrupted you, so I gave you a few extra seconds. However, we want to make sure we have time for questions. So we have about 5 more minutes, and it's going to include Q&A. So you can certainly keep your presentation going for a couple minutes, but make sure you give time for questions, because I'm sure we're going to have a few.
Well, I was just about to turn it over to Sam for a video if he wants to share it.
Yeah, so we'll be quick on this. This is an example of just showing the process. So, this is an example of the file that's been segmented. So this is vertebrae that we've already segmented, and we've popped in some screws and kind of showing, this is a link that the surgeon would receive. The beauty with what we developed is it's all an HTML link. So it's hardware agnostic. So I don't need to have, it doesn't have to be an iOS device. It doesn't have to be an Android device. It can be anything, a desktop. It can be a tablet. It'll work on any platform. And so what'll happen, so on this one, this is just looking at on someone's phone, what they would see. So we email a link to them. They click on the link. This is what pops up. Then they can spin that model around, rotate it, zoom in, zoom out. And then the other cool part is within Casual S, we can hit a button, it goes to VR mode. So this is, I would turn the sound up, but the individual that recorded this, he walked into a wall while he was walking around the vertebrae, hence the hazard of the VR. But so this is an example of where our software is able to then directly go into VR. And the cool part is he can walk into the spine and actually segment it, cross-section that spine as he's walking into that, and see how far that screw actually goes into the vertebrae to make sure they're not hitting nerves or any other items that could be in the way. So again, we're working on building a platform. That platform would allow surgeons to take DICOM data from many different anatomy, whether it's soft tissue, bone data, and then be able to provide them with surgical planning and any other tools that they would need in assisting in the procedure.
Awesome. So like 2 minutes for questions? Sound good?
Sure. Yeah, so one thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to validate our software. So the big initial ask, honestly, is to try to find some partners where we can get some fusion data, meaning that a patient would have had this surgery or had this procedure, and we're looking to get DICOM data prior to surgery to see the actual issue with that patient, and then post-surgery, if possible, to know how it healed, and then also to find out what screws that were used from the pedicle side of it, so we can validate our software. So it's really an ask. It's not so much financially, but it's more being able to find some partners and hospitals where we can get some of these case data.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Go ahead. No.
Oh, you have one more.
Yeah, so there's a show in Boston, a yearly show for spinal specific companies. So the question was, what kind of competition do we have? So there's one particular company called Hatch. So Hatch is a company that's got a software platform that's out there where they do similar with the DICOM data. Their biggest issue though is, so we've been fortunate. We have a partner called ROMD, which is Royal Oak Medical Group. They're a manufacturer of pedicle screws. They're located in Troy, Michigan. So they're a partner of ours. So we have access to the pedicle hardware. So the screws, the cages, everything that goes into that surgery, the fusion surgery. And so because we have that connection with them, we're able to get the hardware and provide kind of a complete solution. And Hatch's biggest issue is they've got the software, but they don't have any of the hardware. So they're trying to get into the room, if you will, to say, hey, we got this great software, but it's not a complete solution. So it's tough for them to get into that room. We don't have that issue, that barrier, because we're partnered with a pedicle screw manufacturer. So we get the advantage of, being able to use their customers, which are our end users. So.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we want to invite Ivan to the stage. And I'm going to have him pronounce his company. Is it Asenji? It's correct. I was almost there. You can yank it right out. Yep. Perfect.
Thank you.
Would you like this clicker?
Will be helpful.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you for having me here tonight in a beautiful house. And especially first time in 2 years in live audience. So thank you. We're going to talk about software tonight. So buckle up. When COVID started, a lot of you probably had watching the news. I was watching something else. I had a question in mind. Why software is so difficult to produce? I figured out a couple of points that may hint the answer to it. One of which, the vast majority of projects are failing financially. More importantly, half of them as built features are never used. There is a huge gap between.
Can you bring it closer so that online we can't hear you?
I'll try. There is a huge gap between experts and so-called implementers, JavaScript, 2 years, college kids. Zero knowledge in domain expertise. What's the answer? Well, I believe the answer is a Gutenberg printing press-like software platform built on 100% no code with the ability to have apps talking to each other, exchanging information up and down the grid, powered by a blockchain with semantic web. We're talking about the metaverse, Web 3.0. I present to you Asenji, a 100% no-code software built from the ground up with custom language to scale. It has two parts. Admin part, where you set up your applications. You don't need to be a programmer to do that. You don't need a database. You just need some type of connectivity device and make it work. Instantly, within a milliseconds, you can have a client side responding and producing apps that can be used by millions of users. We're talking about web, IoT, mobile, Google Store, Apple Store. Talking about no code. I did my first application in 2007. Most people had no clue what no code was back then. We did well. 3,000 banks, 6,000 credit unions, hundreds of millions of users use it today. Probably all of you in this room. In 5 years, I can tell you this, all the big companies will switch to no code. Custom software development will be done within a tiny fraction of what the market is today. Until today, I finance everything from my own pocket for about 2 years. It became big, and I realized I have to ask for investors, not because I have to. It's so cool that I have to bring it to the world. I'm asking for 1.5 million for 18 months runway. The vast majority of software is developed. I get software, I get sales. We need a lot of marketing. How are we going to get there? We have 4 business models. Software as a service with annual subscriptions. Partnerships with vertical experts. We have one LED manufacturer that we're going to create probably next month, a quote and bidding system instantly. Takes 3 days now. Within a second, they will send it. Can show a prototype if you want to see. Marketplace, that will be driven by a blockchain. Make sure we bring the security to 0 for hackers. And create our own products. Eat your own dog food. Create a product, sell it using no code. How are we going to market? Annual subscription. About 1,600 users. We break even for $1 million. The rest is history. Who we are? My name is Ivan Azenov, currently CTO of a Layer 1 blockchain company that produces more transactions in a world per day than Ethereum and Bitcoin combined using proof of work. John Tuba, COO with hundreds of millions of dollars experience managing budgets and operations. Mary Bilbray, cybersecurity expert, one of the best hackers you can find. We do know how to create software. On the left, you see a competitor of ours, Bubble. They cannot do any of this. Ascenji can. On the right, you see I'm tracking 65 platforms, CEOs, CTOs, investors, how much money they raise, what they do, what features they have, what features they don't have. I don't sleep, I don't eat, I only do that. I want to know who they are and what they do. And I can tell you, we'll do better than them. What we're going to do? This is just the first snippet of where we're going. We're going to create a white label for something that everybody uses today. Google Apps, iOS. You push a button, appears, it's running. Nobody knows it's Ascenji, it's white labeled. You sell it to hundreds of users, enterprise, HIPAA, GDPR, California, security, privacy. Marketplace with blockchain. I'm aware of 18 code coverages today that I dealt in my career. If I get 2 of them, that makes me 95% compliant with code-free bugs. Thank you.
Wrap it up, and then we're going to get to Q&A.
We're going to create a protocol for uploading software on a public decentralized blockchain. So whoever uploads it there has to obey the rules. Therefore, no hacking will be even allowed over time. After that, because it's no code, we are looking for self-deploying software by machines. And get this, I already have a prototype, self-correcting software by machines. You don't need humans. Thank you very much for your time. This is Ascenji.
Time for questions. About 2 minutes. Questions? What's your target market? Like I know you mentioned, I see a lot of financial solutions, flagship, and banking, so that's fintech. Are you trying to work with supply chain logistics? Like what's your, you want to go global and like global end user white label?
No, I don't want to go global because I don't understand all the markets. I do have about 20 years in regulatory compliance, fintech trading, forex. That's one. The second one is we have an absolutely amazing partner in LED manufacturing. And I do have also mechanical engineering and rocket engineering, so I do know that part of the game as well.
Anybody else?
Besides the fact that we come every summer here, no.
Anybody else? All right. Fantastic. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to invite Eric from 20 Fathoms.
I don't feel very smart all of a sudden. Maybe somebody else could go next. So a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine called me and said, one of the biggest downsides of TCNewTech not being live is it's easy to get out of touch with what's going on in the ecosystem, what's really happening to everything. So I thought I would at least start today with maybe a little bit of a catch up of what's going on in the ecosystem. And I can tell you that the state of the ecosystem is strong. See right there? Right? Did somebody? Okay, thank you. So this should be the dullest, quietest time of the year. It's the winter. It's February. We just came out of COVID and Omicron. We're hopefully ramping things down there. But actually, things are going extremely well. And so I had a couple of stats that I wrote down I want to catch you up on. So TCNewTech back in February 1st, when we had the pitch night exactly 4 weeks ago, there were 40 people at the Workshop Brewery, 70 people online, and another 190 watched the viewing afterwards. So 300 people in the ecosystem dialed into TCNewTech last time. As you've seen, the quality of the pitches has been really outstanding. And I will add that as I think about the ecosystem here in Traverse City, I really believe that this TCNewTech is the soul of that ecosystem. And when we can get this thing back, and now that we're live again, we're really going in the right direction. Second one, Traverse Connect. So there was a quarterly Fresh Coast meeting a couple weeks ago. Camille said 100 people signed up, 120 people showed up, and 3/4 of them, beginning when Jennifer said how many people are new, going back 3 years, Camille said raise your hand, and 3/4 of the people in the room were new in Traverse City as of the last 3 years. So really good momentum there. Northern Michigan Angels, 2021 was a record year for them. The most Michigan companies invested in and the most dollars that they've invested. Membership is back to where it was before the pandemic there. Michigan Tech, so you remember there was the ribbon cutting thing that when Jay came to town about 6 months ago. Unbelievable momentum there. We've got some small things going on, some really big things going on. I was invited up there back in January to judge a pitch contest, and now Houghton knows very well what's going on in Traverse City. I was able to talk about us a lot up there, so that was really cool. Warren Call and I have been working with Michigan State on a couple things. They really want to get involved in what's going on in town. Again, a couple of small ones and a couple of really large ones. You'll hear more about those in the future, but really good energy with Michigan State. Obviously, NMC, I did not see Jason Slade here tonight. He's, I think, my new best friend over there. We're working on a few things together, so that's really exciting, which then brings me to 20 Fathoms. And things are going awesome for us over at 20 Fathoms. So as I said, this should be about the quietest time of the year for us, and we have record membership right now. As we go into spring, so we're going to be relaunching. Beer 30s are coming back, a little bit more live programming. While we were kind of quiet, we talked about when we do come back, what are we going to do? Carrie reminds me it's our third reopening after COVID. Hopefully this is our last reopening. We have some new ideas and things that we're going to do there as well. So you'll see those coming. So record membership. We've got a company out of state, outside of Michigan, reaching out to us and saying, hey, we think we want to move our business there. One of them got board approval a couple weeks ago to move his business here. So it's very, very real, and there's real interest in the area. Yeah, how about it, right? Yeah, isn't that awesome? Downstate service providers, there's folks all over the state. It's really surprised me over probably the past 6 to 8 weeks, how many people far outside of Traverse City, downstate, are reaching up, asking us what's going on up here. They ping 20 Fathoms. We talk a little bit about it. We've got some sponsorship opportunities that are forming from down there. You're going to hear more about them. So our reach is really kind of growing outside the city, and there's just been a tremendous amount of energy. And then, and Jen talked about at the very beginning, Northern Michigan Startup Week. I can't say enough about it. It was back in 2014. It first came out. It was Startup Weekend. Really cool, more successful than anybody thought. And we thought, well, maybe we could do it for a whole week. Could we really do a whole week? Does Traverse City have the energy to do a whole week? And it is unbelievable, the momentum that's building for that event. And like all the way across the board, we had 20 Fathoms. Jen mentioned it. We're going to do a startup expo and community celebration, AKA a party. We're going to have a really fun party on the, I think it's May 11th. The registration's open. If you didn't catch the QR code at the beginning, go to our website and sign up for it. We're just going to celebrate the ecosystem. We're going to celebrate the community, the resiliency that everybody showed, and we're going to blow it out. It's going to be in our building. We're going to have food and drinks and a live music, and it's going to be super, super fun. So anyway, so with all of that, I think I caught everything that I was supposed to say. Go register, get that done immediately. I think there's other parts of Startup Week. The registration will open up over the course of the next few days. But look, the ecosystem is really strong. Get involved. If you're not involved enough, like this is all of you as well, get involved in the thing. Don't get left behind because it's going really, really good.
Thank you. Isn't he fun? Just brings a good energy. Always smiling. Good, happy people. So we'd like to welcome Kim to the stage, please, with Hypersence.
I'm Kim Lavine. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. As I said, I'm Kim Lavine, founder, CEO of Hypersence. A couple of months ago, I was laying in a hospital bed fighting for my life after suffering an unexpected aneurysm. Now I'm back and ready to fight for my company on my mission to bring hope to millions around the world through life-saving technology. My assistant, Nokomi Schultz, will be taking over to the rest of my presentation, and I will be back for questions. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So Hypersence is a wearable tech company bringing our flagship product, MemorySPEX, to millions around the world. We use liquid crystal lenses to deliver 40 hertz of visual stimulation right here and 40 hertz of audio stimulation through the sides of the glasses, which together create gamma oscillations or invisible brain waves, which have shown through clinical trials to improve memory up to 50%. Now, as easy as putting on glasses, users can improve memory and prevent memory loss, gain competitive advantage in the workplace and at school, and boost immunity and reduce stress through improved sleep. We won Stanford University's Chairman's Choice Award through our participation in their incubator, competing with startups from all over the world. The brain health supplement market will be worth $13.4 billion annually in 2028. A recent study found that about 25% of adults over the age of 50 take a supplement to improve their brain health. The main issue with all these over-the-counter supplements is a lack of regulation. MemorySPEX is a safe, non-invasive wearable tech that improves cognitive function more effectively and at less cost than unproven supplements. Now, for the first time, consumers can apply safe, non-invasive brain-boosting therapy from the comfort of their own homes at a cost that is less or even comparable to unproven and invasive memory supplements. MemorySPEX are so safe that they're classified as an unregulated general wellness device by the FDA. MemorySPEX technology has proven in clinical trials to improve memory and prevent future memory loss to increase the brain's natural immune defense system. They reduce inflammation in the brain, increase blood flow to the brain, and boost immunity and reduce stress, positively improving mood and behavior through better sleep. Kim has been pioneering this technology for over 5 years through her involvement with Hypersence and Sensory Performance Tech, where she was the co-founder. One of our top early adopters was NBA MVP Steph Curry, who was interviewed by major media outlets raving about how the technology dramatically improved his performance. She went on to conduct a successful clinical trial at a premier research hospital, Cedars-Sinai. The cost of MemorySPEX is cheaper than conventional drug therapy or expensive and unproven memory-enhancing supplements. The MemorySPEX have an MSRP of $999 and a $40 per month subscription fee. Our target vendor partner is CVS. CVS owns insurer Aetna and providing us a clear path to payer approval. We only need to launch into 10 of CVS's 10,000 plus stores to hit our first year sales goal of 2.3 million. Our MemorySPEX hardware is our initial point of entry, supported by a proprietary SaaS portfolio with ARR representing 60% of total revenues. We're leveraging decades of university and clinical research proving that stroboscopic therapy increases cognitive function. We have a world-class team. Our advisors include nationally recognized doctors, and we've raised $750,000 to date, including $250,000 from 6 doctor investors and advisors and $500,000 in founder contributions. We've had a current pre-money valuation of $12 million and are forecasting a multi-billion-dollar exit in 5 years or less. MemorySPEX will become the future standard treatment for memory loss. Join us now in our only forecasted round of financing before it's too late and change outcomes for millions around the world for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Nakomi. Appreciate it. I'm happy to take any questions. If anybody has some, please let me know. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So it's called stroboscopic therapy. They're liquid crystal lenses. So they're opaque when you put them on. They go from clear to opaque at varying speeds. And MIT did a study that shows that stroboscopic therapy reduces the plaque in the brain that causes Alzheimer's memory loss. So you have to put together 40 hertz of visual stimulation along with 40 hertz of audio stimulation, which is just white noise, which creates gamma oscillations or invisible brain waves, which travel through the brain and clear plaque and stimulate brain health activity. So there's been a bunch of clinical studies proving this. This is new emerging tech. There's been a study at National Institute of Health and Georgia Tech. Mostly MIT broke the science about 5 years ago. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Suggested therapy is 20 minutes a day from 3 to 6 times a week. So you can watch TV while you're doing it. So the 40 clicks per second is almost imperceptible. You can watch TV, you can garden, you can do laundry, whatever. Yes. Yes, it's a rechargeable ion battery that you can plug and recharge. So it's all contained within the glasses themselves. Yes, sir. Right. The subscription costs about $50 a month. We're forecasting as we gain economy of scale, we're going to lower the price. But you know, the subscription is definitely the value. You can't operate the glasses without the subscription. The subscription will power the glasses, and we're going to add in brain training games as well. So there'll be plenty. You know, there'll be a telehealth platform, everything else.
You'll be able to track the time that you're using with those classes through that subscription service as well.
Yes, sir. And back. So there have been varying studies and everywhere from MIT to the National Institute of Health. And so they have determined that the optimal use is 30 minutes per session, up to 5 to 6 times a week. So, you know, we would like your doctor tell you how much to use them, but that's what we're suggesting. So they currently come without prescription. They're FDA quote unquote general wellness. So we don't need any kind of other, there's no oversight from the FDA. They're not prescription lenses at all. They're just liquid crystal lenses that go from clear to opaque, and that's controlled by operations built into the frames.
The glasses aren't made to be worn all day. So you will still be able to wear the glasses that you have, or if you have a prescription, since it will be about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Next question back. You can wear it as a preventive measure. So mostly all new research is showing that memory loss tied to Alzheimer's is related to genetics. So I have a family history of Alzheimer's. So believe me, I want to use these glasses. And so, they're so safe to use. Anybody can use them. And one of the, when I was in my former company, we were developing them for the sporting goods market. We're just discovering this technology and all of its various uses. And one of our, like I mentioned in our presentation, Steph Curry was one of our biggest early adopters. So, it's great for healthy people who want to increase brain productive, people are using it to compete at work and for sporting goods. Yes. Man in the back there. Thank you. Yeah, we have a provisional patent. We have a provisional patent pending, but we just got our first office action, and we've engaged a group in California. They're called the Experian Group, but they're been around forever. And they have advised us to go to market as a general wellness product and seek a patent later. But, we've already spent a lot of money patent. Yes, sir, back there. Because, that's the only way we can do it. We need to charge for the software. And we have a $1 billion forecasted exit year 5, and we've already been contacted by global pharmaceutical companies who are interested in learning more about our tech. And we would like to sell our company within 5 years. Yes, ma'am. We're just discovering. So I have an autistic son, and there's early research that shows that it could possibly help him. So this is a brand new frontier of technology that, applies to the brain. And, it all started in consumer sporting goods. And now we're just learning about the medical applications. I think everybody's shocked that it can treat Alzheimer's. Or rather, I'm sorry. Support healthy brain function.
There you go.
Thank you both very much. Oh, yeah, thank you. And we're excited that you were here tonight. Thanks for sharing. Ramona, Hello 5, welcome. Did I say that right? Okay, good. I'll hold it.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ramona Falme, founder of 5. We're a Rel Oak-based company with ties to Long Beach, but we also have grassroots here up in Traverse City. I do a lot with Bonobo Winery. So my business partner likes to say, insurance is boring. It's not. Wine and insurance. We are where cyber, insurtech, and fintech connect. So we build single-point technology platforms that offer streamlined solutions delivered in lower code, saving our users time, money, and redundancies, basically headaches, inefficiencies. We power engines that streamline workflows between any insurer, any of their distribution partners, and their agencies and users. This is a $5 trillion market in the US alone. We're targeting 6,000 carriers, 100,000 plus agencies that encompasses 5 million plus users. So why us? Disruption affects everybody, including the clientele. We offer a suite of solutions in one centralized platform tailored to the needs of the agencies and their producers. Working with us is as easy as 1, 2, 3. We focus on cyber, distribution, and revenue. We know that the average user spends $20,000+ a year on distribution, sales, marketing, and leads. So we take 100 average users and we save those users $2 million a year. So myself, I'm our technical founder. I've had over 15 years of experience in this industry. My co-founder and myself have been in business together for over a decade. We have subject matter experts with over 30 years of combined industry experience. We have great advisors, and our management partner and fund partner is on the path to be one of the fastest growing companies in the US. So what's the magic behind the scenes? We really are growth partners. We not only offer our solutions, but our subject matter expertise. We have business-to-business models starting with software solutions, enterprise models for our agencies, licensing models for our carriers, and a build community, think citizen developers. So what's next for us? We have market-ready software conquering the US market with wealth, life, and insurance-agnostic solutions. Next year, we'll expand our product offerings into Europe and the UK. We already have strategic partners aligned there. And then by 2024, we anticipate that we will be a full carrier marketplace and insurance exchange. For us, when you combine cyber, insurtech, and fintech, we really are the only company that results in all three of these items. So there's kind of no comparison. We know that 1% of this market nets us $34 million. We're on track to be a $54 million company at year 5, and that does not include total revenue per seat cost on cyber and enterprise. So we assume we're going to double that number. What's value add for us? Automated experiences, multiple product offerings. We own a data set of over 5 million touch points, valued at over $500,000. So status for us, we have marketing opportunities, carrier opportunities, proof of pilot concepts constantly going. We've been part of several programs, formed global strategic partnerships, met industry milestones. We were named top 100 in retire tech and wealth tech, and 5 intends to raise at least $500,000 by the end of this year. We have 0 debt, so come say hi to 5. Thank you. Yes. We do. We estimate it's going to look like about 10,000 month over month. We're closing up a closed beta that we did going into revenue in the next, I'd say 60, 90 days. Anyone else? Okay,
All right,
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right. Is Brett in the house? He is. Brett's got the best music so far tonight, I think. Brett, you are with Sonder D. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, Sonder DEI, so Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Chat. Hi, everyone. Nice to see the people that are here and the people that we have at home. This is probably a neat, useful thing for me to use. So I personally just a big fan of the lighthouses that we have in the region. And if I can use any way to have an excuse to pop in for a motif, I'll take it. Sonder DEI is a nice local thing we have here in the 5-county Grand Traverse region. I moved here not long ago, almost coming up on 3 years. So I'm on the road to local. I still have a few more secret beaches that I need to learn myself before I think I can really get the title, but I am here and I'm trying to invest in our community and helping our region build up and be a little bit stronger as we cohesively move forward and together. So we are a 5-county region initiative here. Quick little look at what we're going to be going into. As you can probably tell already, brevity isn't really the strongest suit that I have, but I'll do my best to be on task. So overall, this is a project that came out of a conversation last year with Rotary Charities, Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation, Traverse Connect, Northern Michigan E3, and 2 or 3 other groups that I'm blanking on at the moment, as just coffee chat of wanting to just identify what are some of the groups around town that are doing work in diversity, equity, inclusion. We are recognizing that over the last 2 years, everyone has been going through a plethora of trainings within their workplace of here is bystander intervention or bias training or what have you, and a lot of conversations, which is good. Awareness is good. Just across the board system-wide, though, we've not had the best success of transitioning those conversations into applied action. It's more and more talk without really what that next step is. And at an infrastructural level, one of those issues is we don't know who else in the region is also doing this work too. If we want to embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion particularly, how can we collaborate with people that we have no idea how to be able to reach, or if there's a natural partner or a gap in our community that we could address if there's just no conversation happening. So the thought was, let's bring together this network of people in our community, just individual organizations that are passionate about doing diversity in the most broad sense. As messy and complex and wonderful as humans are, you have the diversity that goes along with that too. And it's not always just about race, although that is a large factor, but we're also looking at sexual orientation and gender, or neurodiversity, or just people being messy people that may need the extra little help. So overall, there are 4 problems that we are trying to address, or that we're looking at a large scale way that we can move forward and do a little bit better. Looking at the lacks of connections between those people, particularly looking at the 4 sectors of social, private, public sectors. Looking at just frustrations between how to uptake your conversations that you're having within the workplace or around the dinner table, and then actually doing something with that. One that hits a little bit close to home and more close to other people's homes, since you've lived here a smidge longer than I am, is the perception that this isn't a place of belonging or acceptance for community members. A few months ago, we might remember our opportunities with Afghan refugees, and we have one resettlement agency in northern Michigan. They were very actively against relocating people here because state and government level agencies don't believe that we are an inclusive place to be, despite what everyone in this room would probably argue against, because we have this tradition of barn raising. When we get through our northern Michigan winters, we know how to come together as a group to be able to do better, support each other, and get the stuff done as we build nice homes, schools, and communities. I think Sandra is a way that we can help change that. Probably how to change that, because I have 40 seconds to be able to get to that bit. Demonstration of need, as a quick thing. Diverse communities are healthier communities, as said by Yale and Harmony Healthcare. At the moment, we have a 3% non-white population, so if we want to look at healthier communities, these are a way of being able to get there. Back-end modeling, as I try to be faster. So in general, Sonder is at the moment a network of 123 individuals from 85 organizations across our 5-county region that are actively trying to collaborate on ways to do this. 3 ways that we're moving forward in this is having monthly network meetings where it really is a potluck style conversation of come in with whatever problems or successes you're noticing. Let's workshop together of ways that we can move forward and make changes. At the moment, 3 months in, some of our work is around how to do proper land acknowledgements instead of saying, hey, yeah, weren't we awful to this group of people? And now I'm on to our scheduled programming, but ways to be able to stay accountable as we're doing that work respectfully and thoughtfully with reciprocity moving forward. Identifying 4 focus areas that turn into 4 implementation teams. So it's nice that we're able to address challenges as they come up, but we also want to have proactive ways to be able to make changes in our community, and ways that we're doing that is by focusing on financial, social, physical, and natural capitals, but we can go into a little bit more of that at another time. But these are strategic areas that as a network we are coming around to move forward together on. More back on data on particularly my ask, which is the important part that you're here on. With so many people and with the diverse region that we have just by land, we can't all have everyone meet in the same room at the exact same time. We just can't do that. And we need to find asynchronous ways to be able to come together to collaborate, to be able to get this work done. For us, that requires using digital infrastructure. 2 big ways of doing that is supporting the use of this community action map. So these are everyone who's been cataloged so far in our region that are interconnected and doing work around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Road maps are cool. Google Maps is better because it can tell you when you made a wrong turn and ways to kind of get around that. The way that we're trying to move forward is by creating a systems map that is a little bit more informative than just basic data as it's connect. But then also looking at doing proper community diagnosis of if land use is a main factor, can we have someone that's designated to be able to do this research so that we can make data-informed decisions instead of our good old Traverse City gut feeling, which, although we love, isn't always accurate. I'll cut myself off there. We do have all of our data open source. This is what I ideally would like in a perfect world for us to be able to raise over the course of the year with some of our revenue stream. One of the biggest challenges that we're facing is that we want to support the growth of diversity, equity, inclusion projects in the region. There's also a lot of other organizations that are doing wonderful work on the topic that we don't want to be able to take that money away from. So if we can lean more towards outside investment instead of community foundation and Rotary charities to be able to fund that, that would be wonderful, just so that more people can do more good work. Thank you.
2 minutes. We have 2 minutes for questions. Anybody?
On your revenue had services, where's some of the services?
Yeah, so we're looking at strategic planning, how to do writings better for diversity, equity, inclusion type work. So land acknowledgements. We have a contract with the Children's Museum, or the Great Lakes Children's Museum. So keep an eye out for some neat things coming in June and July of an experience happening there. We're supporting that organization as we're put together that endeavor. So we have a nice collaborative model that's highly engaging in helping 1 to 8-year-olds have increased intercultural fluency, which is just like language fluency. The more you use it, the better you're at it, but you also have to have some type of exposure to be able to gain it. You don't just wake up one morning and have it. So a good old consulting model on the back end for ways to be able to generate revenue so that we don't have to pull from other community sources and let other groups have access to that.
Jen's got a question in the back.
Could you repeat your ask?
The ask is for if you're interested in joining as a member, if you go to sonderdei.org in the top right corner, you can hit login and start plugging in with us. If you're also looking for investing in a group, we would desperately love that type of support. So in an ideal world, we're looking at $325,000 to be able to be thoroughly stable and up and good. 74,000 is enough to keep the lights on and still being an extremely effective organization.
All right. Anybody else? Very cool. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. We are now at the part of the program where we are going to give away $500. So you'll need your cell phone. I'm going to attempt to start this. Is it Alt Tab or Control Tab? Look at me. I'll go back to the directions here in just one moment. So the phone number that's listed there, you can text your vote to 203-529-8755. I'm going to leave this screen up, but we do have an announcement during the voting period. So you're going to have a few moments to make that happen. So we'd like to invite Kara and Kevin with the Traverse City Curling Club. In Traverse City, everybody here knows the value of work-life balance, and I think this is something everybody's going to enjoy hearing about. So welcome to the stage. You can keep voting.
Great. Thanks for having this. I'm Carol Colburn, president of the Traverse City Curling Club, and with me is Kevin Byrne, vice president. And after all this, I think y'all need to play a little bit. A lot of work going on here. So anyway, we've been curling here in Traverse City since 2014, and we are embarking on a dedicated ice facility so that we can curl at all different times during the day and invite lots of different groups from kids. We have wheelchair curlers, stick curlers, old, young, competitive, recreational. We have big plans for curling in this community. Play really is such an important part of building community and networking and coming together as a community with all different types of people. So the Curling Club is just one of those places that really enhances the culture of the whole community. So without further ado, I'd like to show this video, and then we'll talk a little more.
you know, just like everybody else, I watched the Olympics and curling showed up. Oh, this is kind of cool and sort of an interesting game. My first phone call was to Kara. I said, hey, how'd you like to help with this demo day for curling and see if we can get curling going here?
And I said, we don't even know how to curl.
Oh, nobody knew how to.
But one thing we did know, and that was community.
Called a number of the clubs around the state of Michigan. I said, hey, you know, if we did an open house in Traverse City, like a demo day, would you come out and help us out? And sure enough, 60 people, volunteers from clubs from around the state came here, and we had over 500 people show up.
Jill, she was the only one that knew how to curl.
I had been away from the sport for 20 years or so, and it was really exciting for me to have the opportunity to get back into it.
Said, listen, we don't know how to curl, but we'll start a club if you'll teach us how to curl.
And so I helped volunteer at the open house, introduce people to curling, and was coerced to become part of the founding board. And 7 years later, I'm heavily involved in the club and helped introduce the sport to the city.
We're getting better.
Yeah, we're getting better.
Curling is the fastest growing winter sport in the United States right now. And on the curling ice, it doesn't matter who you are. It's a highly social sport. There's no distinction between men and women on the same team, or young and old. It's all about playing this wonderful sport.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about it too from the very beginning is everyone was brand new. It's all different ages, it's all different people from all different backgrounds. It's just fun.
I've been bagpiping since I was 10 years old, and much of my piping has taken place in Canada, where curling and bagpipes really mix.
Once I got on the ice, it just something I took to. I like the team aspect. I've met some wonderful people. We have a lot of fun.
I moved to Michigan in 16, sent an email to the info at and said, hey, I'm new to the area. I live in Lake City. I'm a relatively experienced wheelchair curler. Can I come out and play with you guys? And since then, it's been nothing but just welcoming, warm, great competition, fun.
I mean, we take it seriously to a point, but we're out here to have a good time.
It was just something that really fit with what we needed, and just to kind of stay active and get together every week.
We share this ice, which is not ideal ice for curling.
A curling stone, if you threw it on this plain old flat ice, would go about 15, 20 feet and stop. When we curl, we play on what is called pebbled ice. When you look at it, it's got kind of an orange peel appearance to it. That allows a curling rock to do two things. Number one, go about 135 feet instead of just 10 or 15. And it also allows it to make that curve. It's called a curl. Hence the name of the sport.
Sometimes with the non-dedicated ice, it takes a weird turn when it was like going right for the button.
In order for us to get better and to grow the community, we need to have our own space.
The ice can be and is a limiting factor in how well all the players are able to play the game, and sometimes in the outcome of particular shots. Here with this sort of a surface, yeah, it affects it.
I think it would just be fantastic for our community. It would give us the opportunity to expand our programming, expand the amount of availability of ice that we have to offer for different programs, and allow more people to experience the sport, both the culture, the community, the physical benefits of the sport. We would love to be able to have that opportunity to grow it in our community.
Once we get it built and everything installed, host great, wonderful bonspiels, to be able to get kids involved. Our youth and our community deserves to have that.
Programs for adults in the daytime rather than very late at night, which is when we curl now.
I think what I'd like to see is Traverse City be really kind of like the template for what a community can have when they bring curling to their facility, to their community.
This is much bigger than curling for Traverse City. This is a really amazing project, and it's got a lot of great people behind it, wishing us success and coming on board, and that's what it's going to take.
Good curling. Thank you. That's how competitors greet each other before your game begins. And even more important is that's how you say goodbye after the end of your game. Much like tonight, when we're done curling, we all retire to a warm room have a beverage, and enjoy each other's company. In curling, the culture is when you're done curling, you don't leave. You leave when you're done drinking with your competitors. The main point I want to point out here is the three icons on the bottom of the screen very quickly. Our sport is available for everybody. The down in the hack curler, the first one on the left, exemplifies the way you see the curling during the Olympics. Stick curling in the center, some people cannot get down on the hack for physical reasons. So we have a mechanism that we can attach to the stone. They take a few steps down the ice and release the stone. And last, as you can see the picture of Jeff Snover in the wheelchair, one of the goals that we have when we get our own facility is our town is going to host the first ever all wheelchair curling tournament in the United States. It's the biggest growing, as Lowell said in the clip, it's the fastest growing winter sport in America. And what we're trying to do is add a facility to our town that, first of all, is going to get everybody's attention because what our plans are. I can't tell you right now. That's a terrible lead, I know. But you're going to look at that and say, wow, I wondered when something like that was going to happen. Hopefully within 4 weeks, we'll have a public announcement. That's what it looks like on the inside. Very large cold room for curling, very large warm room for drinking, socializing, having a lot of fun and enjoying each other's company. Everybody who shows up enjoys themselves. One of the most interesting things, and I was thinking about it sitting watching one of the presentations tonight, was we asked the 30-somethings, what do you like about curling? And invariably, the answer is very simple. For 2 or 3 hours a night, I put my phone down and don't touch it. I just deal with other people. And it's amazing to hear people that young tell us a story like that it's more important that they curl than have their phone in their hand. So what we're looking to do in our community is exemplified by a little boy that we had an event a couple of weeks ago at Center Ice, and 150 people came through, but at one point, a very young child came to the station I was supervising, and I looked at him and there was a gap. Somebody had already gone and somebody was coming next, but I said, where are your parents? And he said, oh, they're next door watching a hockey game. Oh, how'd you get in here? He says, well, when I saw the sign on the front door that you were doing this tonight, I turned to my mom and I said, my birthday is next week. Can I have $15 to go to this curling thing? I said, how'd you learn about us? He said, in school, in my gym class, we had the curling set, and I always wanted to do this for real. That kid got down on the hack and he threw the stone down the ice. And when he saw that stone go and he was watching it, the smile on his face, I said, that young man's coming back. That's what we want to bring to Traverse City. Any questions?
I just want to let you know that we're having a cherry bonspiel. Bonspiel is the name of a curling tournament, means good fight. April 22nd through the 24th at Center Ice. It's free of charge. Come watch some great curling. We may even have gold medalists in the house. So we invite you to come out and check out our club and check out curling. We'd love to host you. Thank you. Thanks for having us today.
Thanks so much. All right, we have a winner. We have a winner with Hypersense. I'd like to invite you up to the stage and join Jen. And while that's happening, because it takes a little minute to write on that large check, if any of you have been here before, we do have time for public announcements. So you can make your way to the aisleway here. You'll see a microphone. Don't be shy. You have about 30 seconds to make and don't all run at the same time. I mean, geez. Nobody has anything they want to say? No? Well, here we go. We've got one coming up right now. Great.
All right. Hi there. My name is Brian, and I am a teleworker, meaning that I work out of my house for a company based in Boston. Often I come here and I find that there are many other people who know other people who are working for companies who work remotely. We have a social gathering for people like that because they don't have the benefit of a United Way campaign or a baseball league or a happy hour or whatever. So if you know somebody who is a trapped at home teleworker without anybody to go out with in the evening, we have about 250 members now in our group, and I have these cards for a meetup group. If somebody is interested, I'll be happy to hand them out. Our next social outing, I believe, is next week. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got time for one more.
Hi, my name is Mark Nixon, and I'm a big advocate of a group called the New Urbanists. So if you have any interest in New Urbanism, what it is, they have an annual Congress, and this year it's in Oklahoma City, March 23rd through the 26th. And it's basically architects, urban planners, public officials who believe that you can improve quality of life by design. And so it's kind of a group trying to fight the design failures of suburban sprawl.
Awesome.
So talk to me afterwards if you're interested.
Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to take a quick photo op down here. And while we do that, we want to say again, congratulations to Kim and her sister. You know what? Teamwork makes the dream work, ladies, with Hypersense. And a very large thank you again to Jovia Wellness. This is Heather here, represents. I'm going to get my feet out of the photo. Yes, congratulations. Thank you. All right. So again, we could not do this without all of our sponsors and supporters. So a very large thank you to Susan with State Farm. Jim, I think, is here with Bar Hopper now. Hey, Jim. Jovia and all the other folks, Michigan Creative Coast. And there's my giant head on the screen, and Access Point. And if you don't have the cash to do a sponsor, but you have a way to support by way of an in-kind sponsorship, we'll take your help as well. So again, I'm out of line, but you got the deal. You don't need to hear me, but you do need to know that we have a job board on the website. So if you have a job available, or if you're looking for a job, please utilize that function. It's fantastic. I'm going to look this way. Oh, okay. We're going to drink after this, I promise.
So Pour for More, that is a nonprofit. It's a group of venues around Traverse City that have a special drink offering. That one drink offering, they give $1 to a group of 6 nonprofits, and TCNewTech received that grant this year. So for the whole next year, if you go on their website, Pour for More, you can see all the different locations. One of them happens to be Workshop Brewing, which a lot of us like to frequent. And they have a beer there called Shop Light. So every time you drink a Shop Light, $1 goes back to TCNewTech. So after we leave here, we're all heading there.
So that's where the happy hour is. So please stick around. There's tables outside. You can catch up with anybody who presented tonight and ask questions. Save your calendar for April 5. And when you're done socializing out here, join us at the workshop for more networking. Thank you.